Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I was right, and get ready for some war in the Caucasus. And there is Armenia and Georgia. I made this claim in a few videos a few weeks ago, and that this is the claim. Armenia wants NATO in, but it can't do anything without Georgia. Why? Because Georgia has access to the Black Sea. So when Armenia will decide with its prime minister, which I think is on the West payroll as their ambassador in Great Britain, another one on the West payroll, when these guys will decide to move away from Russia, which Russia will not allow, good or bad, that's how world functions, they will need help, NATO's help. If you look over the map, unfortunately for Armenia, Armenia is surrounded by countries that would not allow NATO troops to help them. They have Turkey, Azerbaijan, they have Iran, they have, the only one is Georgia, and then they have others a little bit north, which is Russia and so on. So they need Georgia. I made this point and I will continue to make it. And I also said that some things will happen at the mid-December this year, or until, let's say, January 15 at the most, in Georgia. Georgia will have some spontaneous demonstrations, a regime change, and then this regime will say we're with NATO all of a sudden, and when that happens, Armenia will do the same thing. Let me show you some articles, because this article that I have here ready for you, that's from yesterday, it's something that shows us exactly what I said. And I will talk about Armenia and Georgia. Right now it's about Georgia. But Georgia will start, I was about to say garbage first. No, we're going to break away from Russia's influence. I'm talking about dominance. And they are, as Ukraine, next door to Russia. Russia will not allow that to become a NATO country. But as NATO doesn't care, they're going to use the Georgians and Armenians to be by the Russians as the Ukrainians are for the NATO interest. Well, that's their national traitors in charge. What do you want? So let me show you first a map. This is the map of the Caucasus right here. So you have Georgia in green, you have Armenia right here, and this whatever purple rain is, Azerbaijan, not friends, Iran, not friends, Turkey, not friends. The only friends is Georgia, and here this is Russia. So Armenia, if does something that angers Russia, Russia will destroy them through Azerbaijan. That's for sure. Turkey, not friends with Armenia. Iran, not friends with Armenia. Why? Because Iran are friends with Russia more than with Armenia. So they need Georgia, because if NATO wants to help them, they will try to help them this way, through the Black Sea. The problem is the Russians will create a blockade here, unless they help them through Turkey, which Turkey, genocide, Armenia, you can't take a shit on Turkey all the time and then expect them to help you, especially as long as Erdogan is in charge. So this is one, this is the Black Sea. So this is Armenia right here, and right here, this is Georgia, this is the Black Sea, okay? And this is Turkey, this is Bosphorus, Dardanelles, and so on. So they need Georgia. Armenia without Georgia is zero. So how can we start shit in Georgia? Well, let me show you this article. Right here. Comes from Sputnik, from yesterday. Multinational exercise. Maple Arch, Maple, Canada. 2023 begins in Georgia. Canada will not challenge Russia. They will challenge small countries, unless United States is behind them, working hard, if you know what I mean. So we have here the multinational command post exercise Maple Arch 2023, organized by the Canadian Department of National Defense, began in Georgia. The Georgian Defense Ministry said in a statement. Along with Canadian instructors, Georgian instructors are also involved in the multinational exercise Maple Arch 23. Military personnel from 9 countries. What are those 9 countries, I would like to know, are participating in the drills. The Georgian Defense Forces are represented by various units or blah 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 blah. Georgia stated that the exercise aims to increase mutual compatibility between participating countries, deepen defense ties between partner countries move closer to NATO standards in planning and implementing peacekeeping operations and improve the necessary skills for effective actions and decision making. Got that? We got it covered? All right, now we move to this. Right here. Newest Arkansas Democrat Gazeta. I just picked it because I knew the title. I've seen this a few days ago. It was from the November 24th, 2023. Armenia, a no-show at Russia-led conference. They didn't come to Moscow. Remember? They didn't come to Moscow. I'm going to talk about these two countries, Georgia and Armenia. Armenia without Georgia cannot start shit, let's put it this way, or be a vassal of the United States of America if they choose to, and that's their right. But Russia will not let them. So a Russian-dominated security grouping held a summit in Belarus on Thursday with the absence of one of its members, Armenia, which has been irked by what it sees as a lack of support over the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. And it was not only here, I think it was in Moscow as well after. So it was another article, not from the 24th. It was in sooner, in between 24 and today, the 9th. I can remember the date. Anyway, speaking at the meeting of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, they don't want to be there. This is Armenia. Russian President Vladimir Putin hailed the blah, blah, blah. Okay, look here. This is a bunch of articles, videos, I made based on articles starting in what? And it's more than that. I have what? More than 17. Published on 15th of October. Armenia will arrest Putin. Bad move. Armenia choose to be destroyed. I say US will open once the second front open. New Minsk agreement. Armenia tries to fool Russia. It worked twice. Blah, blah, blah. It's Armenia here. Armenia, Azerbaijan. Peace brokered by Russia. Blah, blah, blah. Russia will destroy Armenia. Armenia wants Russian troops out from its territory. Wants a new master, I said. Al Capone's second front against Russia in Caucasus. Armenia warns of military attack from Azerbaijan. Remember, Armenia had the French foreign minister visiting and promising weapons to Armenia. France is a NATO member state. Yeah. Now in Georgia, the guys next door, they have the Canadians over there with 9 other countries. I suspect there are some that we are not supposed to, from NATO, obviously. Armenia wants to get out. Armenia did not show up in Moscow, I know that for sure, not only in Minsk. There were 2 meetings in Moscow. That's another challenge. And I say, no, it's just okay, it's fine. About, how many months ago? Let me see here. Armenia, how is that called? Armenia. I made a video on Armenia and US troops having a training over there. Let me find it. All right, and here is what I found. Reuters, this is September 11, 2023. Armenia US military exercise kicks off near Yerevan. Armenia and United States began a joint military training exercise on Monday, both sides said. At a time of high tension in Armenian relations with neighboring Azerbaijan, the 10-day Eagle Partner exercise involves 85 US and 175 Armenian soldiers, and it designated to prepare the Armenians to take part in international peacekeeping missions. It is taking place at 2 training grounds near the capital, Yerevan. Do you remember international peacekeeping mission? Yeah, let me show you here. What is this? Peacekeeping operations. This is in Georgia by the Canadians. Sounds familiar? So that's the term now. We're gonna just train you for peacekeeping missions, both of you, Armenia and Georgia, little by little. We're gonna have the foot in the door. Okay, remember that one. My friends, we're not idiots. Come on. So again, this is the security thing that these guys went around. This is the Armenia with Yerevan, with Peacekeeper. This is the Black Sea. As I said, this is the Caucasus. And what I wanted to say is this. Little by little, they will do something in Georgia. Then immediately Armenia will join in. Azerbaijan will probably be ordered to start something over there. The Russians probably will intervene 100%, and then the NATO will start yelling, hey, we managed to create the second front in the Caucasus. So my problem is this. I'm all for Georgia and Azerbaijan being independent and sovereign. I'm all for it. The problem is you can't. You can't. You can't survive in a region by Russia and trying to be that guy's bitch. Look at Ukraine. You can't. Why? Because that guy that you think is your friend would not allow the same thing happening to him if Russia or China would do the same thing to them. So the world is not based on, you know what, we're not aligned with anybody. What are you talking about? Bang, you are mine. No, you're mine. No, you're mine. And the big guys are going to fight on your territory with your people. Like they fight in Ukraine. It's not about Ukraine over there. It's about the big guys and the other big guys. The other one big guys with their weasel allies, the plantation, tries to destroy Russia. That's the whole purpose. And after Russia comes China, because the whole thing is they fight for this. They don't fight for Russia or for Ukraine. They fight for who owns this right here. It's very simple. Who has the power to destroy whomever? That's what it is. So you're going to be caught in between because you're just a little thing used by one of these guys to kick the other one. You're just going to be, and remember, I think that's an Indian saying, Indian, or it is Hindu, where they say when the elephants fight, the biggest loser is the grass. You're the grass, Armenia. You're the grass, Georgia. You're the grass, Ukraine. But every country on this planet has its traitors, unfortunately. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.